Hello zusammen, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all having a good day so far. My name is Diana, in case it is your first time here. If not, welcome back. But I talk all about the German culture, working in Germany, how to find a job here. I have been living and working here for the last 3 years, and I love to share all of my experiences with all of you. So thank you so much for watching. Before today, I'm actually going to be talking about some American habits that Germans really hate or dislike. Last time I talked about some German eating habits that are different from American eating habits. So if you are interested in watching that, in case you missed it, it will be linked down below. But let's keep talking about some habits because I think this is essential when understanding a culture and moving and working here and just learning all about it. It is important to learn about the way that people think, and I love observing all of this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna share with you what I have noticed. So let's get into it, and yeah, let's get started. All right, so one of the first things that I've noticed is that Germans are not as obsessed with social media the way that Americans are, or North Americans, Canadians as well. We are obsessed with social media. I think I have a social media addiction. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. But what I've noticed here is that people are just really not that into it. Sure, they have it, but it's not something where they're constantly glued to their phone. They're always checking it. They're always, talking about the latest thing that they saw on Instagram. It's just not really a thing here. And that was really shocking to me when I first moved here because, like I said, I am quite into being on social media, hence why I have a YouTube channel and all that stuff. And Germans are just like not that into it. I find that they rather be in the present moment. You'll notice this quite a bit if you go to concerts as well. And of course, clubs, nobody has their phone out, whereas back home, everybody is constantly trying to capture the moment and they're not really living in that moment. Because they're too busy, watching their screens, which is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, that's one of the first habits. The second American habit that Germans don't like is to-go coffee cups. If you are in America or Canada, everybody will have a Starbucks coffee cup in their hand all the time throughout the whole day. It's a thing. It's very common to ask for a to-go coffee cup. It's almost more rare to sit down and drink your coffee out of a normal mug than it is to ask for a coffee cup to go. But here you will barely see people carrying around coffee cups or even asking for them at the coffee shop. I have asked for them before, and I'm not even kidding. The people have told me that I am ruining the environment for actually asking for a to-go coffee cup. And I understand that it is not good for the environment. It's a little bit wasteful, but if I have to be somewhere and I still need my caffeine fix, I don't know why I have to be judged for asking for a coffee cup to go.
I don't have time for this. Can I just get a tall latte, please?
And don't even get me started on asking for a lid. So if I ask for a coffee cup to go, they will give it to me in the cup, but no lid. I would say like 80% of the time there is no lid, which is absolutely ridiculous because if you are walking down the street and there's no lid on the cup, I will most definitely spill it on me, and I just don't understand why they won't just make the effort and give me the whole package and why I have to beg for it. As a customer, I should be able to ask what I want and when I need it, and I shouldn't have to try to speak to the cashier or the barista and try to convince them that I really need this. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's just a German thing. Again, it's not in their culture to get coffee cups to go. I'm still getting used to it. The third American habit that Germans don't like is exaggerating. I also have been called out on this on my channel many times. I think that in North America, we are just more passionate when we talk about certain things. We like to exaggerate things. We like to make things a bigger deal. And I have a tendency to speak that way as well. For instance, instead of saying, oh, these pair of shoes were very expensive, I might say, oh my God, these pair of shoes cost me an arm and a leg, or these shoes were like $1,000,000,000,000. Like, we just exaggerate a lot when it comes to speaking about things. And I know that it really irritates Germans because they're more fact-based and they don't like when things cannot be taken literally. So this will definitely lead to a lot of confusion. I would highly recommend staying away from exaggerating in business meetings because it might be taken out of context and a lot of people might have confused looks on their faces because to Germans, they really like to take things fact by fact, and that's just how they work. They're much more analytical, and the exaggerating nature of Americans is sometimes not taken very nicely, and then you'll just have to explain yourself what you were trying to say and that you were just exaggerating and you were just joking around, and it's just going to be a big awkward situation. So yeah, just don't do that because it makes them feel a bit uncomfortable. And then the last American habit that Germans don't like is when you are too loud. Whew! A lot of the times I have noticed in public places, trains, buses, airports, where if there are tourists or expats that are speaking very, very loud, Germans will give them the side eye. And they will kind of look at each other and be like, that person is just too much. And you can tell that they're getting irritated that they are being too loud. And oftentimes Germans just say, oh, Americans are so loud. And yes, North Americans are very, very loud. I'm not even gonna deny that. I am also like that unless I have simmered down a bit, at least I think I have, but you guys might not notice it. I've even heard Germans say Americans are just too loud, and they say it with like this irritation, and they just like don't understand why we are so loud. And Canadians, of course, are also like that too. We just are more passionate again when we speak. We like to be excited about things. We like to, tell our story so that everybody hears. I think we just need a little bit more attention. Not even gonna lie, that's just the way we are, and Germans really, really dislike that. I've even heard them say as well that they will not go to certain countries or they will not go back to certain countries because the people or the culture is just way too loud for them. So I don't know what that's all about. Why do Germans prefer silence? Can somebody tell me? But I find it quite difficult. I still talk loud at times, and even in elevators, I like to start up a whole conversation, and I know that that's so irritating to people, but it's in my nature, and if I want to say something, I want to say it now, and I don't want to have to wait until I'm in a quiet setting or a private setting. I'm going to say what's ever on my mind, and yeah, it is really, really difficult to change that, and I don't necessarily want to change that either because it's just part of me. But I also know that I need to respect, the people around me and be more mindful. So it's a balancing act, guys. And don't be surprised if Germans give you, dirty looks because you're being too loud, because they probably think you're very obnoxious. So yeah, that's just the way it is. So those were the 4 things that I wanted to talk about. Of course, there's like little other things that I've talked about in the past, like Germans really don't like AC, and they also don't like drying their clothes in a dryer, and just little day-to-day things that they dislike. But these are like the more cultural things that I wanted to talk about. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to add more insight into why Germans behave certain ways or why they think the way they do, or maybe some experiences that you've had with Germans and habits that they don't like, also leave it down below. And of course, if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos every single week, and I would love to see you guys around here next week. But that's going to be all. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you later. Tschüss. Peace.